Yeah, it's Monday. Happy Monday, guys. August 25th. And this is another episode of Let There Be Talk. Episode number 112 with my guest, Mary Lynn Rajskub. Yes, you know her. You love her from the hit show 24. Mr. Show. She was on Mr. Show. I've been doing stand-up comedy with her the last couple weeks. She's on the road. She's extremely funny. She's an amazing person. I love this interview because she's so smart and funny. I love this woman. She's fantastic. I can't say enough about her. Super nice, super cool. She's like what you wish all the celebrities were, you know? You meet her and you go, oh my God, this girl's super talented, an artist, and nice. So there you go. Yeah, sound like a dick just kissing ass, but nah, just telling you the truth. Girl's the real deal. Had fun with her. We sat down in San Francisco, did a couple nights at the Punchline, and in between the shows we did this interview, and it was super fun not weekend, but a couple of days there. We had a great time. Went and ate some good food. Went to Garage. If you haven't been there, try that. Ate down some quesadillas, Garage style, the way they do it, over by the new ballpark. I still call it the new ballpark. Isn't that hilarious? It's over by the new ballpark. If you live in San Francisco, that thing's been there forever. As a matter of fact, they're getting ready to implode Candlestick, I think, in 2 months. Paul McCartney played the last show there I think it was last Thursday, when the day after we left, or Friday, one of the two. But the Beatles played their last show at Candlestick, I believe in March of 1966. And then Paul McCartney goes back to play the last show there ever, which is pretty fucking cool. It's funny because I was watching the news in my hotel room, and they're like, people can't get into the show. There's been gridlock to Candlestick for 4 hours. And it quickly brought me back to when I went to go see Monsters of Rock there back in the day. It was Van Halen headlining with Sammy Hagar, but that's not why I was going. Also, a band, Kingdom Come, was on the bill. Remember them? Sounded just like Zeppelin, and then said they'd never heard Zeppelin. Instant career suicide. Oh, man. But I was going to see Metallica, and my mom was driving me and a couple buddies. And there we are at the fucking off-ramp off the 101 there to go to Candlestick, and it was just like a parking lot. And as we sat there for 2 hours, Kingdom Come played their set. Then they set Metallica's equipment up. They played their set. And we still weren't in. Man, I was fucking furious. That's the only show I ever missed. Ever. As far as having a ticket and not getting in. I was talking to Bill Burr. He's like, should have just got out of the car and fucking walked in. I don't know why we didn't do that. Still to this day. It's so funny. I also saw the Rolling Stones in 81 on the Tattoo You tour there. Incredible. Candlestick, gonna miss it. It's very iconic. Used to go to baseball games there. And it all ties into today, because yesterday they had a big earthquake in San Fran. I remember the 89 World Series. Sat down. Put on Soundgarden's Loud Love, went to the kitchen to get a beer, and turned it up loud, getting ready to watch the World Series, A's against the Giants. Open the fridge, it's like, Loud Love! It just goes off. I go to my buddy, hey, asshole, did you just turn off the stereo? And when I was getting ready to say that, the whole fucking place started rocking. So, Candlestick, gonna miss you, buddy. Good times out there. Shitty, ice cold weather. I remember the home run fence was a cyclone fence. That was the home run fence. You'd smash into Metal Cyclone. Gangster. They'd have $2 or dollar beer night, I can't remember, on Tuesdays. And you could just go out there and watch fights, man. It was radical. And one time I was there, and they imploded Hunters Point, the Twin Towers, Geneva Towers, off the side of Hunters Point. And we were watching, I think it was the Giants game. We went up top to watch them implode them. And as soon as they did, about 2 minutes later, this cloud of just asbestos and cancer and dust and dirt, mold and crack and weed or whatever else was in those towers flew right in and just stopped the game immediately. It was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Couldn't breathe. Unbelievable. The whole dust came right into Candlestick mid-game. Anyway, I'm just fucking rambling at the top here. So what happens, I go to San Fran and I get all fucking teary-eyed. I miss it, but I don't. So there you go. People go, you miss it? Yeah, of course I fucking miss it. But L.A. rocks. And people, oh, fuck that. It's all California, man. If we're living in California, we win. Unless you're in Modesto. Shout out for Modesto. Anyway, a couple things before we get to Mary Lynn. Check out her website. I don't know if I said that. I'm just kind of out of it. But great website to find all her tour dates. Mary Lynn stand-up. She's going to be in Florida in November. Orlando. 5 nights. 5 shows or whatever. Then she's going to Austin, and she'll be in Edmonton. So go see her. Great, great person. I went to the dentist a couple days ago. I don't know if you ever heard the episode here on Let There Be Talk. I had my dentist on, Shaylin McDonough. And the guy's so fucking funny and cool. It's cool to have a young, cool dentist. I was yelling at him and Instagramming and tweeting, come on, you fucking asshole, that shit hurts. Just modern day, man. Imagine you're just a dentist now. It's just modern day, just putting up with dicks like me, filming you while you're working. Anyway, he's out there in Thousand Oaks, East Oaks Dental Group. And this isn't an ad, man. I just love this guy. And he said that if you listen to the show, and you mention it all in the month of September 2014, you can come in for a free exam and cleaning. How fucking cool is that? Come on, man. That's great. You don't get that on another podcast. Free dental work? Shit. And maybe ask him if you can get some nitrous. I've never had nitrous there. He's never whipped out the nitrous. I miss the nitrous. I used to huff that stuff back in the day. That shit is wild. Okay, so there you go. East Oaks Dental Group. And let's see. Shit, I can't see. I feel like Fred Sanford right now. I got to put on different glasses for different stuff. Fuck everyone and their small writing on their cards, including my car. But he's in Thousand Oaks. And call him up. Shit. 805-454. God, my eyes are old. My eyes suck. I don't know. Look it up. East Oaks Dental Group in Thousand Oaks. Sorry, can't read it. Fuck that. My record of the weekend was Aerosmith, Get Your Wings. Been getting heavily into Aerosmith again. Of course, not talking about Jaded. Jaded! Get out. But, man, Get Your Wings all weekend. It's funny when you get a record and then you just put it on, you're listening, and you go, how fucking good is this? Can't believe this record, man. Came out 1974. Here's what you got. Same Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, Spaced, Women of the World, SOS, Train Kept A-Rollin', Seasons of Wither, Pandora's Box. It's fucking killer, man. Which, by the way, all wrote by the band. No outside writers on this. That's why it's fucking good. Get your confidence back, Aerosmith. Write your own fucking songs. These other people are making all the money, making you sound like some pussy band. Isn't that all? Yeah, you sound like some pussy band. That shit's funny. Episodes brought to you by Earthquaker Devices. Speaking of rock and roll, you play guitar, bass, drums, whatever, man. You got to get yourself some foot pedals. You want to sound like Radiohead? Or maybe get into some crazy psychedelic Hendrix shit? Whatever. They got all the pedals that are gonna make you sound cool. And the pedals look cool, man. I look at these pedals. They look like art. That's what I love about them. All handmade in Akron, Ohio. They got a website, earthquakerdevices.com. Tell them I sent you Dean Del Rey. They'll hook you up with a discount. Check out some of their pedals here. You got the Cloven Hoof. Every time I go to that one, it's such a weird name. Crimson Drive. Hey, man, this song needs some Crimson Drive. Dispatch Master. That's right, you heard it, bitch. My name is Dispatch Master. These are the pedal names, but they're all great. Hummingbird, I love them all. My favorite's the Rainbow Machine. Still my favorite. Check them out. Earthquaker Devices, great people, Akron, Ohio. Play guitar, bass, drums, whatever. I'm going to use one of the pedals on one of the episodes here and just talk all fucking robot. Electric. I'm totally fucking crazy today. You know why? Because I got sleep. So you don't want me to sleep. I get fucking crazy. I'm all loony. A couple things. Let's see. And then we're out. The dentist. I did the dentist. What else? I'm going to be in Denver this week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Comedy Works with Russell Peters. Denver, come hang, man. Let's rock. I can't wait. I haven't been to Denver in like 5 years. I always ride through there on the way to Sturgis. I love Boulder. I love Vail, the Vail Pass, Aspen. Oh, man, land of Hunter S. Thompson, right? Anyway, bring some weed, too, so I can sell it. I'll see you guys out there. That's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come see that. And that's and then the following weekend I'll be in Scottsdale, the Comedy Spot, Friday and Saturday, the 5th and 6th. Can't wait for that. That's going to be great. So looking forward to seeing you guys. And also shout out to Roland Sands, man. Stopped by the store over the weekend. Love that guy. If you're into motorcycle stuff, check out Roland Sands motorcycle equipment. They got leathers. They got Harley gear, Triumph gear, all kinds of stuff, man. I love them. Just giving them a little shout out. Here we go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Episode number 112. Enjoy it. Keep your tweets going at Dean Del Rey. Keep those reviews going on iTunes. Got a couple new ones this week. Bay Area Roots by Pulpton. As an old metalhead from the East Bay, I really dig this podcast. Great guest. Real fun listen. Thank you, brother. Dave from VT. I'm Dave from the VT. You can tell Dean loves music. His passion shines through in every interview. Thank you, brother. And Torsten Stett. Totally got that wrong. That's what you get for having a name like Torsten. That'd be funny if that was it. Anyway, here you guys go. Enjoy your week. Thanks, everybody, for all your support. I love you. Here she is, Mary Lynn Rajskub. Let There Be Talk. All right, here we are, another episode of Let There Be Talk. Got a great guest today. We're live in San Francisco. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Mary Lynn Rajskub.
Yeah, there you go. I wanted you to say your last name because everyone asks all the time.
Rajskub.
Right?
Get used to it.
How do you? But the spelling is, The
spelling is jacked up. You can't, you're not going to get along with the spelling. You and the spelling are going to be fighting. You can't look at it.
What is that, like Russian or something?
Czech.
Czechoslovakian.
Yeah. Do you agree with that?
I do. That's some Eastern Bloc right there.
Yeah, that's some Eastern.
I just, people always think I'm Irish.
Oh, really?
Because I got a red face. I've had this red face my whole life.
Really?
Right? They come up, hey, you Irish? It's like, no, I'm fucking red. I'm just red. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like my skin does not like the wind.
Yeah.
Or feints of sun. Here we are in San Fran, and it's just like,
You're delicate.
Yeah.
I always get the watery eyes is what I get in San Fran.
You
or
do?
Just anywhere. Just eyes watering.
We're in San Francisco.
We're in San Francisco.
And you lived here for a while.
I did, from 94 to 96.
Now, let's talk a little bit about, now you grew up in what, Detroit?
Yes, suburbs of Detroit, south of Detroit. In Trenton, Michigan, downriver.
And San Fran's where you moved first?
I was going to art school in Detroit for fine art painting, and this girl, she said she was going to, my friend, she said she was going to San Francisco for a semester, and I was like, I want to get in that. And it was the type of thing where, looking back on it, I really wanted to get out of Michigan, but I feel really bad. Even now, saying it as a fully grown adult, I feel bad and I feel guilty and like I'm not allowed to do that. But then my friend was doing it, and I was just like, I got to do that for a semester, and then I never came back.
Wow.
Like subconsciously, I knew.
You escaped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you feel guilty? Because that Detroit pride, like
you're not supposed to leave, and just your family, and you're supposed to stay there, and you're an asshole if you leave, and you're supposed to be there back there several times a year. And I mean, like, that's my family. Like, they're good people. They all go to each other's birthdays, and they're there for everything. They're like seeing each other, not every day, but close to it.
Are you Aquarius?
No.
I was just asking because, like, no one's an artist in your family, right?
Right. So
what makes you like? I'm not going to ask you what makes you that. It's just you're born with that. But what I'm saying is, it's weird, right?
It is weird.
This spirit of I've got to get out and see the world.
Yeah.
That people have that. Some people don't. Some people go.
And I always felt that was a bad thing. Like, as we're talking about it growing up, if I felt like, well, you're a jerk. You're a selfish jerk because you don't want to be here. Well, first I couldn't even admit that to myself, but that's exactly right. I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a horrible thing.
Yeah, it's not a horrible thing. It's I think it's the same reason I've been performing for like 30 years. It's like, it's not I got to get out of here. You don't even know what it is. Your brain is just wired different. It's like, go see what's out there.
You know what that reminded me of? That we're repeating. This is a total sidebar. Repeating the sentence. I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
My son, when he was. This is going to make him sound like my son's like I have a crazy. He would have these fits. I think all kids like have fits, but one time he still has it where sometimes he'll get mad. We've actually put a little name to it, and I'm not that much of like a therapeutic person, but it did get to the point where I was like, buddy, what happens? And we don't do it anymore, but for a time it was called Mr. Anger, and he could put a name to a blackness he went into.
Whoa, like the kid from The Shining.
Yeah, I was like, well, can you tell? And that's what I mean. I don't mean to like say my son, but it's like when he gets mad, he's like, but so it's a good thing too. Like, this older girl he was swimming with her, and he wasn't like total underwater swimming. I mean, he was kind of like flailing around or like, oh, it's in my face. Like, he was a decent swimmer. Yeah. This girl was on the other end of the pool, and she's like, whatever they were playing with, I just looked up and she's like, come get the thing or the toy or whatever.
Come drown.
And he was on the other side of the pool. He was like, oh, like he got so mad that she was taunting him that he ran and swam and just went underwater, fueled by rage, but swam better than he's ever swum because of her, that he would never do if he was in the pool with me. But it was like, this little bitch. I love when like older kids too, you're like, really? You're 3 years older than him. You just you have to be a total bitch. I mean, boy or girl, like older kids just taunting the younger kids. But anyway, when he was like 3 years old, sometimes every once in a blue moon he would snap. And I remember this was when he was too young to even recognize what he was saying. But I always think about this. Stuff started coming out of his mouth, and one of the things was, I gotta get out of here.
Wow.
But I mean, like, I put up pillows because he'd come and like scratch me, like he'd be mad about something, and he'd just have to spin through it. You know what I mean? Like going to a rage for a full 5 minutes, which is a long ass time to be in a full rage. So I put up a pile of pillows because I'm not gonna like. If you try to leave him, it just makes it worse because he wants you there, you know. But he's like freaking out, and he's like, I gotta get out of here. But that came from the depths.
What do you think
of
that
humanity. I tripped out on it. I probably gave it too much more meaning, but to me it was like deep down in there, the human experience. He was like, get me the fuck out of here, like out of this world. It's that recognition of when you're not at one, which most of us are not for most of the day, we're doing something else. And so if you're mad, you're just like, fuck this, get me out. There's like a separation in yourself that you're being fueled by, you know, there might be to lesser degrees for most of us during our day of like, oh, I'm just distracted and I'm not completely present. But if you're not present and content, you're something else, which nobody is present. People aren't present most of the time, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And this just happened to be the rage of...
Does he still do it?
He does. It's getting better.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting better.
Wow. What do you think it is? Scorpio?
Oh, what did
is he a
say
Scorpio?
To me the other day? He goes... No, he's a Leo.
A Leo.
This is kind of funny. It turned from like super funny. Then he said something. I was like, oh no, you didn't just say that. So he's a boy, right? And he'll like hit and punch and stuff. What did he do?
And he's 6, right?
Yeah, he's 6. So he farts and he goes, what the fuck did he say? He goes, who farted like that? And I go like, I don't know. Like I didn't even know but he was like kind of next to me. And then he's like, I go, you did. He goes, no, I didn't. And then a couple minutes later, he goes, yes, I did. And I start cracking up. And then he goes, don't laugh or I'll tell God to kill you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, man.
Like
he is the kid from The Shining.
But like, that's smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First he says something utterly hilarious, which he's like, it wasn't me. And then a couple minutes later, he goes, yeah, it was me. I start cracking up. That's hilarious. And then don't laugh. I'll tell God to come. Like he's at that age where he's asking about God too.
Whoa.
Like the other day we're driving home. I don't know. My iced coffee just kicked in. I'm talking about my kid nonstop.
That's all right.
So all this stuff happens during the day. We're out way too late. So it's a disruption in the schedule. It's pitch black. We're driving. Usually he'd be home in bed. Driving home. He goes, Mom, because we don't really go to church. My husband's family does, and we did, and then he kind of bailed on it, and I'm like, I'm not going to be the one to keep this going. If you want to go, like, I'll go. It's cool. So we're not going, but my son has been to church. We're driving, and he goes, what, Mom, what day do you go to church? And I go, Sundays.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, we should go. Out of the blue, out of nowhere. We're sitting in the car, and I go, and you know you trip out because you want to be like, why, what, da-da-da-da-da. But you got to be like neutral to like draw them out and not
that's right.
shut them up or not put ideas in their head.
Because then he'll go, uh-oh, God's bad.
Yeah. So I was like neutral, but inside I'm like, this is freaking awesome. Like what's going on in his little head? And I go, why? Pause. And he goes, because of God. And I go, oh, so what made you think of that? He goes, we just passed a church, and I just thought about it.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
6-year-old
Yeah.
church. When I was 6, I was not talking church.
And he usually doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, he's a dude. He's not... He's likes, a dude. You know, it's like farts, and let's wrestle, and let's, you know...
Yep.
Build things, like... So, yeah, that was, like, totally out of the blue, but, you know, so interesting to me that he was thinking about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. What did you grow up religious?
My parents were severely Catholic to the point where when my grandmother passed away, we stopped going. Like, we used to just do that, like...
For grandma?
Yeah, and, like, holidays. It was never talked about, but the feeling was like, ugh, like, because we have to. And then when she passed away, they stopped going. And, you know, they're kind of like... Again, my mom and dad don't talk about it, but they're not happy with what... they're like, fuck that.
Yeah. At church is, if you have ADD like me or something, it's brutal. Right? You're just in there like, and it's long and it's...
Well, yeah, now my son, like, I try to bring... Like, he really doesn't want to go. My new thing is I want to, like, make up church and go and, like, have it in the park or something like that.
Yeah.
But even that, it's like once you plan it, you're like, never mind. But, to then go sit somewhere...
I used to do the Sunday gig, Church of Bon Scott. And it was just, at a club, we just play AC/DC. And whatever your religion
That's your church.
Right?
That
was my church. And it was, my religion is as cheesy as that is. It's like rock and roll. And I think that...
And it probably was great for you.
I think church is anything that you bond at with other people. If it's music or a religion or any kind of thing that brings people together. And, while we're listening to rock, we're like, God, man, I hope I get this raise or a job or what. You know what I mean? You're just talking about life. And that's kind of a church.
So now I'm going to segue into comedy.
Yeah.
Obviously comedy is a way to connect with people, but sometimes I feel like, it also can be like you and them type of situation. Because sometimes you're like, well, clearly I'm manipulating the situation, or I know I'm doing a performance, which again, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm the performer, you're the audience. And then other moments, you are having a genuine connection with people, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
so
sometimes you're completely
things.
in it, and sometimes you're doing a gig.
Right.
Right. I think.
Do you think when you're completely in it, that's about connection?
I think that's magic and chemistry and an art form. I compared it to this when I played music. I played music like 25 years. I probably had about 5 to 10 gigs where it's so euphoric when you get off, you don't even really remember the gig. With comedy, I've done 2,500 gigs. I've had hundreds of those gigs.
Really?
Yeah. So,
what do you think that is? Because I was wondering that when you said about music. Do you think music is more of a separation? Because I think music, you're hiding in the music.
Yeah, volume. You can hide behind.
Yeah.
Loud.
Right.
If something's not going right,
you can disappear into that.
Yeah, and you can just go into your instrument and kick through the gig. But if something's not going right in comedy, you're there and they're there, and you're like, I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the funnest part for me. Like the challenge of like, all right, I don't care if you laugh or whatever, but I need to figure out how we're both going to get off on this. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your go-to thing if someone's like not happy?
I start looking around. I think a lot of people are afraid to look at the eyes. I'm the opposite. I want to look at people and go, all right, why are you not having fun? Then I can usually look around and figure it out right away. It's probably a bad relationship. Maybe they're on a date. They thought this comedy show was going to fix all their problems. Or maybe they're addicted to their phone and they're just like not in it.
Do you call it out, what they're doing?
I do. And then it gets...
Well, that can't be good if you're like, oh, you're in a bad relationship right now. Do they laugh?
I think it's good because we're just calling them out on their bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just calling them out like, why are you putting your sad face and all that weight on me? It was only $15-20. Why do you think that I'm the savior? Like, we're going to go to this, we're going to have fun and laugh, and we're going to come home and everything's going to be fixed. And then 5 minutes in, they realize that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm putting up with their shit faces. They're just,
Yeah.
Like last night was a perfect example.
Make me laugh.
Yeah. The whole place is going crazy, and the one girl's just like, no. And then when I confront her, she's all, well, just go on with it. Make me laugh. and like I said, if you think I work for you, you're out of your fucking mind. Here's 20. Get out. I do comedy not to have a boss or rules.
Yeah.
For somebody to sit over there and think they're the fucking, the hierarchy. They know what's funny. They know what's good music. They know what's a good painting or whatever, or a film, and just sit there like, no. And the rest of the place having a good time, something's wrong with that person.
Right.
Right?
Right.
One person not having fun in the whole place? Let's find out why. I don't know. And then she gave it. She started laughing.
Yeah.
She could not hold back. She tried, like, I'm not laughing at you. And then she was like, fuck it. And then took a picture with me at the end.
Yeah, it's the best.
That's comedy's crazy, right? How long you been doing it?
Well, I was thinking what you're saying about like the hierarchy of people, like make me have a good time tonight.
Yeah.
Like there has to be like a letting go process, and that's like what you get to the point where you're getting laughs, and not that you're ever blaming the audience, but like you said, if it's like one person or whatever. But like I was thinking about, because you seem like very. Performer, artist, you're also naturally outgoing, and you're also not afraid to be like, here's what I think about things, and kind of roll with it, like conversationally in life. And I'm somebody who I think part of the reason why I got into comedy was because I don't naturally do that. So it's like finding my own rhythm, and comedy gives me a weird strength, because the hierarchy, for me, it's almost never about, their sourpuss face. It's like they're going to go where I go. And my problem is I'll go inward, or I'll like blame myself, or I'll get like real nonverbal. Yeah. And then they feel bad because I feel bad. And I'm the one that's like setting up the separation. Like that's what fascinates me. Like especially with going on the road recently, I'll cross that bridge of actually just talking to people. And it's like, it's so much better, because I think I used to be so afraid of the general public. And then I'm the one that starts eating myself alive. So at which point, it doesn't matter if you're funny or you have this cool idea, or like, oh, if I do it in this way, it's like, well, you've just cut off the lifeline between. And that took me, I always make a joke about, which is true, it's not a joke, but the fact that I was doing performance art, and then like people were laughing, but I didn't know why they were laughing.
Yeah. And
then I was like, oh, let me go in the direction of the laughter rather than the uncomfortableness. But I was just performing for the expression of it, and to like, artistically kind of like to heal myself, to like. And then I started being attracted to comedy, but
you were doing performance art?
Yeah.
Were you into like Karen Finley, people like that?
Yeah.
God, I saw her.
I never saw her live.
Man, she's still alive?
Yeah.
I saw her like 20
Someone invited me to her. She did something in LA. I wasn't able to go. This person came up to me. It was actually at that show Tiger Lily, and this person was in the audience over on Gower in LA, and she said, Karen Finley's doing something for the first time. But I think Karen Finley like actually got married and had kids.
Wow.
Like, of all people, she was so like anti that.
I remember there's key things in my life that's crazy that we're talking about performance art, because I don't really, I take in so much stuff. I want to see all aspects of art. And I've taken in so much over my life. And one of them was Karen Finley at the San Francisco over there at the Exploratorium, the Performance of Fine Art there in that place. And my buddy was like, oh, you got to go see this lady, And I go see her, and it was fucking incredible. It's funny that we're talking about it, because now, boom, I'm in it. I'm sitting there, and I remember she's covered in chocolate pudding.
Oh, you saw the one. That was the period, the chocolate.
Wow. And, it's funny. Look, I'm getting goosebumps because I'm there, and it was so fucking powerful. There's performances in my life that really hit me. That Rollins doing spoken word at UC Berkeley, Ryan Adams playing acoustic at Foley's in the cellar up the street. Shit where you're just seeing one person.
Yeah.
I like that one person.
That's my favorite.
I did too, man. And it's like, where were you doing the performance art? Here in the city or in Detroit?
Well, yeah. I mean, I started doing it in Detroit, and then one of my things in Detroit was like I had a little stand set up outside and I made people line up and I was dipping trash in paint and then wrapping it in paper and trying to like sell them like it was fish and chips or something. Some like that was one of my performance art things. So I was starting
Did your parents think you were crazy?
They didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I commuted and I just went there and did stuff. I think they maybe thought I was just doing charcoal drawings, which I did all that stuff too.
Right.
But once you get to a certain point in your studies, they're like, do art without materials. And you start like, you know, you do the basic study and then you learn about this performance. And I was always attracted to that for whatever reason. So then...
What kind of art were you into? Paintings and stuff?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Who were you into? Like, were you into like the classic art, or were you into like Todd Shore, Mark Ryden, Robert Williams, that kind of highbrow art, or what are you into?
I like expressionism and like a little bit of Dada, a little bit of like Basquiat, the Warhol era, but also like impressionism, expressionism, abstract, you know, that whole Jasper Johns, like Rauschenberg.
That's cool.
All that kind of stuff. Like, I guess modern art, expressionism that you would see in a museum, like anything that's painterly or emotional. I don't like high concept or things that are perfectly rendered. I just like stuff that's like messy.
Colorful. Yeah, I get it. It's like somebody's vision, right? You're looking at that. I always love the old thing of like of just people like, what is that?
Yeah.
that's usually going to be something I'm going to look at.
Yeah.
You know, it's art is... It's so funny because it's such a big thing in my life, you know, and God, I just love performing, you know, and I think comedy is completely the rawest.
It's pretty wild.
It is. It's so raw. I love your. I've been doing shows with you now for like a week, and I love your set. Like your style, it's kind of, I was telling you, like I love Norm. Half the room's kind of there, like, this is crazy, and the other half's dying. I love that friction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like I've spent my life trying to not be, like, the thing I attack myself, because I'm like, oh, I'm the freak, you know, because I take it to a place where people, and even recently, but now I'm getting so strong in my... not being afraid of people because I know that like I've worked on my shit so that it's really funny. And then when I veer off, like you said, it's like that one person, it's like, fuck you, you know? Like I had a lady recently who was like, oh my gosh, like that's my favorite when they talk to the person next to them. Like she is so weird. And I'm like, what's your problem? Like, what are you talking
I'm
about?
Here.
Like,
I'm not on the TV. You know what I mean?
I can hear you and see you.
Yeah.
And you know, then it got to the point where I was like, should I even bother with her anymore? Because everyone else is just like enjoying it. And now I'm like getting into this thing with you. Like I'm going to try to convince you or something.
It's great though, because it's like you being on TV, which if you're stupid and you live on Mars, she's on 24. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, in case people are like, who are, you know, you being on TV, I love more than anything that you're not the safe route. You know what I'm saying? Because people can be on TV, then they just go out on the road, they do jokes like, one time I was on the set and Kiefer came by and you know.
Well, the weird thing is there are audiences and like times where I think people would prefer if I did that. I mean, I've had shows where I get to the end and I'm like, oh, so I should have just played the DVDs and sat here in a chair and not bothered to do
But that's
this
what
whole
I love
thing.
about you. You don't give in to that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's completely the opposite, you know? So when you go, it's like Bobcat, you know? Like when you go see him, you're like, this guy is out there. That's what I love, though. I would hate for you to go on and you're just Chloe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of funky, you know? It really shows the juxtapose of the two people, you know? It's like you're an artist and that's a character, you know. And I think it's great because it'll drive a line down the middle immediately of the people that are like, oh, okay, you know. And then you start getting this great crowd to
that's the other side of it. It's like the people who then are won over by it. Then that's the greatest feeling in the world because they're like,
right?
oh my god, like you're funny and like I didn't know and I only knew you from this and like you know you did this whole other thing and that's like a really cool feeling to have that.
Absolutely, that's the best, right?
Yeah.
That's how I was telling you last night. I like when I open for someone big like you. And I'm a total stranger. And they're like, in their mind, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. I think a lot of people have never been to comedy shows, so they think you're just going to walk on and do 2 hours and then leave. And then they get up and leave. Yeah. But I come on and they're like, oh. And I love that, like, where's Mary? You know, like, how long are we here for? Yeah. And then I have to win them over. Yeah. You know, I love that challenge. It's pretty fun. You know, same kind of challenge.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I got you in 25 minutes or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's an odd thing being an unknown on the show.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of people that I had that recently in some cities where they don't really come out. You know, you get those people that are comedy fans and it's not unusual. They come out to a show, they come out to a club, they know how to act as an audience. Not that people don't know how to act, but people that are like coming
they know
out
the format.
they know me from 24 and that's like drawing people sometimes, but then they don't know.
They don't know the format.
They don't know.
Oh, there's a host, there's a feature, then the headliner. So then they're kind of like confused. You can see it, you know. Which
is also like part of my choice because that's my background. That's what I come from. Of like, no, I'm going to do clubs. You know, like I always did L.A. in the past and like alternative scene and hanging out and something different on stage. And clubs were like, you did not do clubs. It was not cool to be on, you know, be on the road. And now I'm realizing like I just kind of wanted to take that challenge with all the background of all the comedy that I did and be like, you know what, I'm going to try to do clubs, you know? Like,
and
that's
you're killing
cool.
it out there.
It's
like
fun.
2 nights sold out here, San Fran.
It's super fun.
You're just in Tampa.
And now I'm like embracing it. It's that thing of what you were talking about where you have to jump off that cliff. Like, yeah, you can go back into your act and you definitely have stuff you rely on. But then when you're like, hey, well, what's going on with you? It's totally raw. You're just like, well, what's your deal? Like I had one girl in New York. This guy, like sometimes if I feel like a lot of people are super excited about 24, I'll just go into it instead of, because I used to be like, oh man, like this is going to be hard. And then I realized like that's part of the show.
They're
like
fucking here.
I get to go into it. So now I'm like, go up to a guy. I'm like, oh, you think you're Jack Bauer? And I'm like talking to him and like tell me to do it faster and tell me to get the schematics and like spank my ass or what, you know, whatever dumb shit. But so I'm talking to this one guy. And he's into Jack Bauer. And he, you know, and I'm starting to talk to him. And the girl next to him is like poking him on the shoulder. And she's like, I don't know who that is. And I just was like, and she kept saying it like 3, 4, 5 times. Like, I don't know who Jack Bauer, like interrupting. And first of all, it's like, bitch, no one was talking to you. But then you're going to interrupt and be like, I'm not saying I care that you know it or not. Clearly he does. So it's just like, and you're coming out to see me. It's like, did you guys talk to each other before you came here?
Yeah, like here's who we're going to see. I like this show.
And you're going to sit there and passive aggressively be like, I don't know who Jack Bauer is. Like, what are you? But he does. Yeah. I was like, are you drunk? Do you know each other? Did you come here together? Are you always that bitchy? It's like,
I think
and
that's
you're
the
off
case.
A cliff.
This isn't about me now. What's going on?
Yeah.
It's like me. Yeah. That's a lot of problems.
She had to talk, and it's raw. You're out there, and I'm having this face-to-face conversation with this woman of like, what are you doing, man? Like, what?
That's weird, right?
Yeah, like, it's super fun though.
I think that's a lot. The only hard part of LA is you get a lot of hot girls come out.
Yeah.
And after about 10 minutes, they realize, oh, fuck, I'm trapped in this comedy club where I can't talk and dudes aren't hitting on me. What's going on? Now they start texting like, what's up, to dudes that are outside the club somewhere. And they just need some kind of like, you're hot. Where are you? In a comedy club.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know,
See, I don't even think about that shit, but that's totally true. It's like people who are out for the night and that are just like, let's get it. Like, that doesn't even occur to me because I'm not like that. But that's like people. That's why
I love your hot girl bit.
You're not in a loud bar talking. It's like, oh,
you're trapped.
Shit, I'm in a club, and if I'm not like prepped that I'm here to watch a show, which a lot of people come in like that, like, let's go in here.
And then they go, what? We can't text?
Yeah.
We can't talk?
Yeah.
Dudes can't just come up and hit on us and we tell them to get out of here? You know, and their whole
That's what that one girl was mad at me when she was like, you're weird. That was at the stupid hot bit. And I looked at her and she was blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I go, well, let me see your shoes. I go, give me your shoes right now. And she wouldn't. I was like, took off my shoes. I'm like, give me your fucking shoes right now. You give me your total like she was offended, so she tried to rally people like she's so weird. She's like, because you know it's true.
You know what's funny though?
True.
Is I don't feel I've been spent a week with you now, and I don't feel you're weird at all. As a matter of fact, I feel like you're one of the coolest women I've met in a long time.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Like, yeah. Oh, high five. But you know what I mean? Like, oh God, here's somebody I can talk to completely on a human level instead of chick-dude dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think of you as a woman or a dude or anything. I just think it like you and I are like, we're talking about cool shit. And I think at the end of the day, it really makes me realize, don't ever settle for somebody that you're not on the same level with.
Right.
Because when
you'll get caught, because you get caught up in it, and the next thing you know,
and then you'll just be like, I can't.
Then you're
talk
like, I'm
to this
addicted
person.
to Diet Coke for 12 years.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're like with that girl who just texts all the time.
You're just like,
looking
what
for hot
happened?
guys to hit on her.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's weird though, because you there's people that you really bond with, and then like I have a few friends I really bond with. You know, I could talk to for hours, and I don't think I really have a lot of women like that. Maybe 2 in my life. So when I talk to you, it's like incredible. I'm like, oh, this girl's into cool shit. I'm just saying, it's like weird, you know, like an artist level of like stuff that you're into, and we can talk about anything, you know. And it's not like ooh, you're hot. It's more like yeah, and then I was over here and I saw this crazy painting. This guy's weird. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anything, we can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know? So it's great. It's cool to feel that sometimes when you travel on the road with people, you don't really know them that well. It's just kind of a weird thing.
Well, I think that's the trick when you do comedy, too. That's what's cool about you, is because you do have that, like, you have that vibe where you're like, hey, well, you know, I'm having a good time. But it's, you know, you kind of trick people because you're like, oh, there's this whole other dimension to what I'm doing. It's not all just like, you know.
Yeah. Well, if you look at me, it looks like party rock. Yeah.
Well, that's an aspect of it, but that's like the cool thing is like there's something else going on, you know.
Yeah, I think that has to do with traveling and being around and doing stuff in your life. You just, as cheesy as it sounds, kind of worldly. You can. Like you and I talk.
You've had like a million lives.
Yeah, well, you and I talk performance art, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Karen Finley, I saw her. You know what I mean? It's just like I can go there, and then I can also go. I was at the Harley factory once, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's all over the board.
Wait, so Karen Finley comes out. When it starts, is she naked with the chocolate, or she puts it on? You know what I mean?
No, you know. Okay, we're talking 20 years ago, but from what I remember, I think it was 3 kind of acts. And the last one
comedy structure. You're waiting for the headliner, Karen Finley.
Yeah. Well, no, I think she came out. She did one performance thing.
Oh, I see. They're like pieces.
Yeah, and then
monologues.
She came back out, did another one, and then the last one was the chocolate pudding. But the thing, I mean, I remember the chocolate pudding, of course, but the real thing I remembered was, this is fucking radical. Like, whatever she was talking about at the time.
Yeah.
And whatever she's doing was something I've never seen. So I'm sitting there like, that's a woman up there, man. She's pretty outlaw. It was really like that kind of thing to me.
Yeah.
Same with Rollins doing spoken word. You know, you're thinking spoken word. I love this guy from fucking Black Flag and the Rollins band, you know. Why is he doing this?
Yeah.
But let's go. I love Rollins. Let's see what it is. And then I'm completely floored by it, you know, and I'm obsessed with how did he even learn to do that? And then I realized, well, it's a communication and it's a passion about whatever you're talking about. If you have passion, people are going to draw in. So when I talk about rock on stage, even if you don't like rock at all and you're hip hop, the passion coming off me, now you're in.
Right.
You're like, yeah, he's out there. He steps into fire. Yeah. You're like, oh, whoa, really? I've never been to a rock concert. Whatever. But he drew me in talking about all kinds of shit. And I think if you just have passion at the end of the day for whatever you do, people are going to draw to it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just up there punching the clock, people are like, yeah, and they just move on, you know? Right? That's what I love about you. Like I said, it's totally opposite of what I think people are going to think. They think 24, they go see you, and then you're dangerous. You know, you got some funny ass weird shit.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Like one time I saw you at UCB, and it was really weird.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's my normal shit. It's like real. I don't even like.
Yeah, I love that.
Know what I'm saying. I don't even know what's coming out of my mouth.
I like the weird shit to where no one's laughing. It's so uncomfortable. No, I'm saying it's so uncomfortable that you're laughing. Like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
That used to be all I did. Was
but I'm saying, I understand you can't be all that. Because after a while, you're like, is this fake? Right. You know what I mean? But I love, like, Maria Bamford.
Yeah.
When she comes out and she's doing, like, you know, ooh, yeah. She's doing an impression of a guy on a bus sitting next to her and stuff. You're like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, it's so weird and cool. I don't know. I just need
I know what you mean. Because it's like a thing and your mind opens that a person is willing to, like, it just made me think of her recreating something she saw and giving it to people who are like, oh. And especially if it's weird or it's tripped out.
Yeah.
Then, you know, you can make people not feel alone when they have, like, weird or tripped out things.
Yeah, well, I
think my thing is, like, I always felt so weird and tripped out that I'm trying to, like, just speak clearly.
Well,
that was always elusive to me. Oh, have a theme and let people in on it.
A thread.
Tell people that you know what subject you're talking about. Like, that's like my new exploration. But yeah, I love that too. Just like weird.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like if I probably think back to if Karen Finley did that performance, let's just say they got 200 people and they put them in a room and they said, we're going to show you this art. Probably 95% of them would be like, what is this? And the other 5 are going to be like, that was fucking incredible. Right. I just always felt I'm part of that 5%. Music taste, movie taste, art taste, anything. You know, it's probably the reason that I think that the Norm Macdonald special from 2010 is the best thing I've ever seen. Because it's just a guy standing there with his fucking arms down, doesn't touch the mic, he doesn't look left or right. He doesn't move, and he does 3 premises. Right. And they're all super fucking dark premises, you know? And I'm like, I'm in. I mean, I understand it ain't for everybody, you know, but I just like the weirdest stuff. I think that's from growing up here, too. Like we were talking about early times, man, of like TV. You know, you grow up on Good Times and All in the Family and the Jeffersons. Those are dark shows during a dark period. And then Happy Days and that stuff comes out because they're like, oh, God, you need some push-pull. Yeah. You can't have everything dark or else you don't know what's dark.
Yeah, it's like every other era. Like
Yeah. It's like I can enjoy you, and then 2 minutes later I'm going to be able to enjoy a different style, you know? But I know what style I like the most. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, it's just outside the box. It's not weird. I don't think it's weird.
Yeah.
I think it's a gap world, and once in a while, people shop somewhere else. You know, and you go like, oh, look at that guy. I remember like just wearing like leather pants and fucking just rock cowboy boots and shit, looking like GNR. And I think about it now, just cruising around in a normal world, full rock. You know, like you're just down.
I'm full rock in a normal world.
Yeah, right. Like you're just like, say you're at a Macy's and it's Christmas time, you're looking for your mom to get her a gift, and you're just in there like, in this regalia. It's not a costume, it's just what you wore all the time.
Oh, you're making me want to go shopping.
Yeah.
For some fringe. I got to get some leather fringe.
Leather fringe. That's the only thing I never rocked. I don't go fringe. Anything
as the girl, I could wear the leather fringe next to you.
I like fringe on like, you know, like Madonna, like a Virgin era, you know, fringe white jacket.
Yeah.
You're so fine. You know, like Madonna was a knockout on that fucking, like a Virgin era.
Yeah.
Like pantyhose, shorts.
Totally.
Weird outfits, right? Just looks like she just threw all kinds of shit on.
Yeah, that was the best because it was totally not styled.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you look back and you're like, what? What? It totally looks like thrift store.
Leg warmers.
Yeah, fingerless gloves.
Oh,
netting. Fish. Fishnet.
Prince and Madonna dressed the same, right?
I feel like he had more suits, like structured suits.
Well, he wore blouses, as what's his name would say.
Blouses.
Charlie Murphy, blouse. That's my favorite. 21 game blouses. How'd you get into stand-up? What, like, you moved to San Fran and start doing it?
Yeah, I was doing performance art. Actually, one of my teachers was a teacher to Karen Finley. I took one of his classes at the San Francisco Art Institute, but then I started just looking for open mic poetry nights. I remember doing poetry slams and just tanking.
Where are you going? Like Brainwash, shit like that?
Yeah, the Brainwash. Brainwash was like one of the first comedy shows I went to.
Still
Ron
fucking
Lynch.
there right now.
Is it really?
It is.
Ron Lynch, this guy, Harmon Leon. You don't know him?
Nope.
Patton Oswalt, Blaine Capatch, Greg Barrett, Laura Milligan. All San Francisco, upstairs in the Brainwash Cafe.
90s.
I was thinking about this yesterday, because I was down in the Mission. Where is the Brainwash? It's not in the Mission, though. It's like Folsom. It's almost...
Yeah, it's
south of Market.
South of Market.
Yeah, I went upstairs, quiet, probably like 12 comedians.
Right.
Now there was a light and there was a mic and there was a stage-ish.
Let's tell people what it is. It's a laundromat.
It's a laundromat and a cafe.
Yep.
But where we did the shows was like upstairs in like some room, you know? It wasn't quite an office building, but it was kind of just...
It's like a loft or something.
Yeah,
like
some room upstairs. And you just congregate. And that's exactly what you were talking about. Just weird stuff. Because people didn't have to do their act. You couldn't do your act. It wasn't even like a conscious decision at that point. It was just, I'm here to experiment.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what this is going to be.
The audience isn't really an audience you do an act on. It's just like people doing laundries, maybe some homeless, and then some comedians, some poets.
I feel like when we did it, it was not even, maybe you'd get someone doing their laundry, but really it was 10 or 12 art students, comedians, musicians, just like we're hanging out for the night. This is what we're doing
so
tonight.
You can't do an act in front of people like that because they know you. You're going to the coffee shop with them after.
That's right.
They're like, what the fuck are you doing up there?
That's right.
You know,
but it was still very real, even though they knew you. I mean, it's not quite like being at a party and like, oh, stand up, but it's a little bit like not social posturing, but like you know. I wanted to do something good. I didn't know what that was, and I knew they were my peers for sure. Right. It wasn't anything to do with the comedy club. It was artist type people.
That's dope.
And what are you going to do? And what are you going to do?
And what were you
going
doing?
to do something that interests me? Oh, I don't even know.
Were you doing just like performance art, or were you trying
performance
stand-up?
art, but like it was ideas or sometimes just phrases, repetitive phrases or random things that I would put together. It was almost like there was something emotional that I didn't have the words for, so I would attach random words to it, Right. Like I remember one of my early sets was like, well, what are you guys looking at? What do you like? There was always some angst,
defense.
Yeah, some defense.
All right. You have a posture of defense too.
Really?
Well, yeah. You even talk about your acting.
Right. That's right.
Like Chloe.
Like, what? Yeah. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Yeah, you have that. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because as I look at you as a person, and then I look at a photo, like if we take a photo together, you're so different in photos. You're like totally photogenic and like, hey. But then on stage, you're like, whoa. Yeah, it's crazy how you have, I think it's probably a defense mechanism that you've had forever of, I'm going to look mean.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you in.
Like afraid of the world.
Yeah.
And that's one of the devices that I was using to explore. Because I remember another thing I thought was hilarious. This was at the Comedy Store a few years into doing it. Was like, I thought it'd be so funny if the host introduced me and I just don't come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, just keep introducing me. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go. Like, that was deeply hilarious to me. But
that is funny.
But it's funny.
Because people in the crowd.
I don't want to go out. And then I come out. So I'm playing with my own attitude that's real. But
that's how you felt, but you're acting like it's an act. But you really felt like that. Yeah.
And I really felt like that. But then the audience, if they're not if they're not that 5%, they're like, oh no,
she really
feel
doesn't
bad
want to
for
come
me.
out.
And it's like, no, don't you get it? That's what's funny. Like, if I wasn't aware that I didn't want to come out on stage, who does that? You know what I mean? Like, it's heightening. I don't want to go. Don't make me go out there. Like, that's ridiculous, right? That person, if I really felt like that, I wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? That person would not leave their house.
Like, you're a slave.
So that's like,
they're making her go out. Oh my
Which
God.
Is so funny.
So bad for her.
This poor girl.
Right?
But that's like, it's too far into it. It doesn't give people a helping hand.
I like that shit.
It's going to be like, it's going to be
Andy Kaufman, I'm blessed that I saw Andy Kaufman a lot on TV back in the day, but there can never be another Andy Kaufman. Because as soon as somebody tries to do it, you go, oh, he's doing Andy Kaufman. Can you believe?
Well, it's the same thing as Karen Finley and Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
That for him, that period of time and doing that kind of poetry, like you said, you're like, oh man, like blew your mind.
Like I would love to go out and do a one-man show, and the plan is, it's almost a play. But it's like a one-man show, right? Where I'm in my bedroom, I'm like 10, and I put on this record, and it blows my mind. And then I just take you through this journey of why I love music, right? Yeah, from 10 to 40. And as I'm describing a concert behind me, you see huge photos of it and sounds, like Ted Nugent walks on stage, fucking fire goes on. He's got a loincloth. He's like, look out, motherfuckers, and you're seeing it, but I'm telling it with the passion. Where you do
That's a cool idea. Wait, can you put that on pause?
Yeah.
I got to...
Oh, yeah. We're back on.
We're back.
Mary Lynn had to stop and do radio for a minute. Part of the evils of traveling comedy tour.
Yeah, I missed it earlier because I was having lunch with you. I completely forgot about it. I lost all track of time.
I love you just outlaw like, fuck it, radio.
Oh, my God.
To me, I'm like on a regime. I'm like, I totally want to be dangerous, but then I'm like, must get the radio. Can't miss.
No, I usually am. I just things are a little bit crazy for me, and so now I'm not like burned out, but I'm a little bit like, oh.
Well, yeah, you've been East Coast and then West Coast.
I need to shut my brain off. That New York, I was jamming in all kinds of like press and stuff, and
yeah. I don't even know where we were.
I don't
so
either.
It's cool because I'd rather keep it like that, just like an organic conversation. You know what I mean?
Like, let's not even pretend like we didn't just take a break right there.
Nah, fuck that. Because you took a break, it's just part of being on the road. You had to do radio.
Yeah.
Right? We're at the
doing radio for my next gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wish I was going there with you. Where is it? Seattle or Portland?
Seattle Parlor Live. Never been
yeah.
there.
It won't matter because this comes out Monday and that'll be over. Yeah. But where... how many
the shows were great.
Yeah, you were
the
awesome
shows
in Seattle.
Sold out.
What so we were I do know that we were touching on starting comedy. You were at the Brainwash.
Yeah.
And
I love that you know the Brainwash.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is my town here. Like where you
knew it like as a cafe or as a laundromat or what?
Well, no, because since I played music back then, a lot of people would just go play the like Linda Perry would play there. People that were singer-songwriters.
Oh yeah, I've seen music there too.
Yeah,
and the slam
they'd have like
poetry
the
was
acoustic nights.
That's crazy because it's not a big space. They have all kinds of stuff there.
I think that the place has survived because it's such a great springboard to go try something you want to try.
Yeah.
In a pretty good environment.
Yeah.
Before you go, like, I mean, you're not just going to be a singer-songwriter and all of a sudden just step on stage at the DNA or something back then, you know, but that Brainwash is still going, which is so cool,
awesome.
right? I mean, I'd like to have those guys on the podcast and see how they started that whole thing and then look at the tree of fame out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The people that have been in there that are famous now.
Yeah.
You know, like you, Patton Oswalt, Linda Perry. Those are just three right here that are all in different elements of the biz that are all big.
Yeah.
You know? So were you going to any rock clubs back then, seeing music?
I was trying to think of that earlier when we were talking.
Yeah, like did you go to the Paradise Lounge or DNA Lounge or South of Market stuff where we like they had the night break, you know, sushi Sundays.
Dude, I didn't go to any of those.
Yeah, what were you doing? Just
I don't know. I was going to art school. I didn't have any money because I can remember I was just there. There's a bar by the Roxy Theater. It's now called Delirium. It used to be called something else. There was an open mic in there. I was doing a lot of just small rooms that would pop up. But I remember not even having money. So I would drink like 3/4 of a beer and be like, whoa, I'm drunk. Because I probably had like a burrito for that whole day. Yeah. And then like one beer was what I, had money for or was like doing.
It's funny that you came in yesterday and you went right to your burrito place.
I know.
Pancho Villa.
Yeah.
And I go to my burrito place. And when I did Marin's podcast, he was like, what's your burrito place? And it's so fucking weird that San Francisco is like a burrito. We were talking about it today. Is a burrito capital, I think.
Yeah.
People think, L.A. has the Mexican food.
That Pancho Villa was like the real deal when I went there yesterday. And it's still the same food.
Yeah. And I like El Farolito up the street, which is dirty. And I've said it many times. It's just the dirty part. You're going to get a guy shooting junk out front while you're in line. But the mission sure has changed, right?
Yeah.
You're down there like when you were there in 92. That's where you went to get crack and heroin and a burrito. Now,
I loved it there.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah.
Did you ever go to that place, the Cork Lounge? There was a bar. They had like bands and stuff.
Probably. I remember the Elbow Room. That's still there.
Elbow Room. Yeah, I heard it's closing. Somebody just told me. Like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't surprise me when I hear something's closing in San Francisco because this town is it's becoming again horrible from the tech people that live here. They make a ton of money and it drives up all the rents. Guy was just telling me today he lives in a 3-bedroom apartment, and he said the place downstairs is going for $10,000 a month.
Oh man,
with parking, $10,000 a month. That's $3,000 a man. 3250.
Yeah,
like if you're going 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
like it's funny because you're making tons of money as a tech person, but you would still have to have a roommate.
Yeah.
Let's say you make $1 million, you're like, well, I got to get a roommate because the rent's $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I remember what you were saying earlier. How I remember it is there was when I first moved here. First of all, obviously it's beautiful, and I remember I would just ride the bus for fun because I'd be like, "Wow!" Like I'd take the J Church, and doesn't it go like underground? Then it comes up ground, and I'd be like, "This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me," and just walking around different neighborhoods, loving it. But it was the first time that I felt like there was a real culture, like a coffee shop type culture of
that
like
actual
younger
kind of spilled over from like the beatnik is still here, right? The coffee shop poetry.
And so I felt like there was that, and then like the super rich, which I would see those places, but I didn't know who they were. But it was such a rich place for all these creative types. But it's like also the creative people aren't necessarily making any money or bringing any money in. So that's kind of weird. Yeah. Because I eventually left because it was just like, well, I don't really have any reason to be here. I mean, I could stay here and like do performances in my friend's storefront for years to come. But you were just talking about rent because I can remember paying like $200. No, when I first moved here, and this was super expensive for me, it was like $450 to split a place with my friend. Oh, and her dad drove out to find her a place. Right, he like gave her a car. They drove out here, but I remember I'd be like crying, like I don't know how I'm going to make this money. But she got the place for us because we were just girls from the suburbs, and so And then I moved out of there,
and you're going to school, so you got money, right?
No money. So then I moved from there to like a place for $200. That was a room in a place with like 3 or 4 other people.
Right. As I looked out at the crowd last night, it just seemed like money in there, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was like there was no like, all right, we're here, like blue collar, got a jacket, it's cold out, and a beanie, let's go see comedy. It was like there was wine.
Yeah.
It was like, and I was calling it out like, fuck you, Walnut Creek.
You just ordered a bottle of wine right out of the gate.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Bring the bottle to the table.
So you moved to L.A. from here?
Yeah.
You graduate school?
Yep.
And you go to L.A.? Yep. And now what? You want to be an actress or do you want to be a comedian? How does that happen?
Well, I mean, I didn't really... All I was doing was live performance in San Francisco. The reason why I moved was because Patton Oswalt and... it was like that group of people, not Blank Patch. I remember them saying, we're doing these shows in L.A., so we would drive up and do shows.
Where at?
This place called the Diamond Club that my manager, he was like a junior manager, but it was that dude Slim Jim from the Stray Cats.
Yeah.
He had
Slim
a
Jim
nightclub, and it was in the off nights.
Oh, the Cat Club. Next door to the whiskey. That place?
No. All right, maybe I'm thinking of another dude. This place used to be on La Brea and Hollywood at the bottom of a...
he might have had that too.
Yeah, it might have been.
He might have been there first and then got. But
we were like the comedy nerds. In my case, performance art. I remember, Laura Keitlinger.
No,
she does not remember. She does not remember this. She was a comedian, but like real smart and dry. And she was just like, "Okay, art school." Like she had to go up after me, and I just like weirded the room out, just reading like scraps of paper.
She would call you art school.
Yeah, she just called me art school. But it was there. It was like Pedro's. There was a place called Pedro's Mexican restaurant in Vermont. The Onyx Coffee House. Just the Belly Room, the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Just tons of weird rooms. Somebody had a room at the Smokehouse for a while.
Yeah, like Bobby Lee was telling me, Zach Galifianakis used to do comedy in '96 at the 101 Cafe.
Oh, yeah, I did that one, too.
Yeah. Like on Tuesdays or something. Full-on comedy in there.
Totally.
Isn't that cool?
Totally done that room. I loved it. There was a million places like that. And it was always like people starting up rooms,
Yeah. It's still like that right now.
Yeah.
There's a million crazy rooms. You got Meltdown. You got Largo. You got the one you just Tiger Lily.
Yep.
UCB. You got the Palace on Hillhurst.
Yeah.
Fish Tacos. I mean, there's so many of them. The Comedy Living Room.
Yeah.
I love that one. It's at a guy's fucking house. And he made this full comedy club in his house.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God, you got to do it. And you're there, and I was there. Here I am, working my ass off in the biggest clubs and doing great and nothing. And then I do the Comedy Living Room, and Rachel from Comedy Central is there, and she's like, "You're great."
No way.
Here I am at a guy's house doing comedy, and that's where people find me. So it's
shit.
It's funny because those shows feel good to me. I like all the shows, I like the clubs, and I like them all. I like anywhere where there's an audience that's there for comedy and hasn't been hijacked.
Yeah.
Like I like everything but bars, because bars just feels like a hijack. Like, oh, this is our place on Tuesdays. We shoot pool here. Now you're here.
Right.
And it's always some bar that's at the end of their line, and they're like, let's try a comedy night.
Right.
I hear that brings in people. And then they don't turn the TVs off, and it's like 32-4, 32 hut hike, and you're up there on stage.
Yeah, I've done a lot of those too.
Yeah, it sucks, right?
Yeah, you're right. Unless there's like a separate room in the bar.
That's great.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like what's that place? It's on Santa Monica. I forget, but you go in a back room, and all of a sudden you're in like a total.
Oh,
what's it called? It feels like a San Francisco place, right?
It's like a Russian name.
Yeah,
Lubitsch. Bar Lubitsch.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That place is great,
Yeah,
right? You go to the back, you're like, oh, this is dynamite.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate, that style place, because people can step out and talk if they want.
Right, that's right.
And then they can get into the show mode.
Yep.
So you're doing comedy, and then how do you get into start doing acting? What's the first thing you did?
I think I did this thing called The People Next Door with this guy, Jeremy Kramer. He was actually the one I was telling you was friends with Robin Williams. He's a San Francisco dude, but he did this show for Comedy Central. And then after that, it was Mr. Show, probably.
Yeah, people love Mr. Show.
Yeah.
How did that happen, Mr. Show? I mean, there was a time where I remember just touring around America.
Yeah.
And every tour bus had Mr. Show on.
Really?
In the lounge.
No way.
Oh, God, yeah. Rockers would be, hey, you seen this? Mr. Show, man. That and what was the Jack Black one?
Tenacious D?
Yeah, but they
the show?
Yeah, remember they had that show where they had sketches also?
They did?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
I can't remember what it was called. Maybe it was just part of Mr. Show.
It may have been.
The one where him and
may have been
Kyle
part of
are
Mr. Show.
fighting. Remember that one over Kung Fu? Like magic paper bag out of the garbage can. And
They did a feature-length movie, but you're talking about before that,
no,
right?
No, before that.
That might have been part of Mr. Show.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was just DVDs that I would see on buses.
Right.
And everybody had them.
That's so cool.
I'm not even kidding. People would just watch them for hours. There's things that float around on buses like, this is great. How'd that happen?
I was actually dating David Cross.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool because I was just in that group and we would all do live shows. So I just happened to be, they just put me in stuff, It was like we did live shows. So it was based on all those live shows.
Yeah.
And they just kind of plugged me in. And then I was not on there once he and I broke up. I kind of got replaced by different, but it was great. It was a great time. It was an amazing time. And, it was their vision. So I was just kind of happy to be in there for the time I was.
Well, that shit was, that to me kind of felt like my introductory to kind of alt comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know what the fuck alt comedy was.
Yeah, and that's what it was all alt comedy. That's all I ever did, and that was I was with the best people.
Kings of alt.
Yeah, and Mr. Show was like the culmination of that made it into a concrete show with both of those guys doing it together. So yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't before, to me it's just comedy is comedy.
Right. Yeah, no, they took it somewhere.
Yeah, they took it somewhere, and man, it's been that was probably ground zero because it's been.
Oh my God, I was like so into that. I was just like beside myself, so happy to be just around it. You know?
Yeah. What was that, like early days at UCB, stuff like that?
It was before UCB existed.
Really?
Yeah, because there was no LA UCB, so it was. Largo was like the old Largo was
on Fairfax.
I remember there were so many different rooms that Largo was like later in that process. It was more just like all the coffee shops and the moving shows and the Diamond Club. Yeah.
And who's big at the time then? It's like Patton Oswalt.
Oh, there was like the Uncabaret too. It was like Patton, Kathy Griffin, Janine, Julia Sweeney did shows. Tons of people. Jack Black. Actually, Will Ferrell was there. Molly Shannon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just monsters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It seems so weird now to think like if you walked into a show and those guys were all on.
And we were, you know, just like all delighted to be watching each other. And it was like just a supportive, creatively fertile environment. I mean, I remember Molly Shannon being at like house parties and she's handing out flyers like, come see my show, you know. This is before she got on SNL, and she's just like working it, getting people to come out and see her.
That's
get
cool.
A break. Yeah.
Doing the work, right?
Yeah.
I always laugh when people see me handing out cards and they're like, what an idiot. It's like, why did you just go on in front of 200 people? You think you're that fucking good that they go, I know who that guy is. Gonna tell my friends his exact name and everything. Who could remember a name like Zach Galifianakis? That's a hard name. Or like I always say my favorite was Louis C.K. First time I saw him, he blew my mind, but I couldn't remember his name an hour later because you're leaving the room and you're like, fuck, what was that guy's name?
Yeah.
So that's great to hear Molly Shannon's out there flying, you know?
Yeah.
Hustling it, man.
Fuck yeah.
You don't want to do all the work and let people just forget, right?
Yeah.
They
remember.
Yeah, like your last name, too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if people did...
I got cards. I was handing out some cards last night.
You were. I made you do it.
Yeah,
I was like, get out there. Come on. I just like it because I think people go home and they tell a friend the next day. You know, and I always explain it to people. Here's how it can go. It can go two ways. Man, we went and saw comedy last night. You know, they're at work at the fucking water tank or whatever. And the guy goes, yeah, who'd you see? I don't know. We saw one guy, he had a beard.
Yeah.
He was funny. Then we had a girl that had like really weird stuff. And another dude. That's how they describe it.
Yeah.
No card.
Yeah.
Card. Who'd you see? Oh, this guy, Dean Del Rey. Let's go look at him right here. Here's his card. We can check his shit out online right now. Then they're watching. They goes, I got to see that. And then they go.
That's cool.
There's no shame in that, man. That's called fucking getting people to come see you so you can come back again and do the craft.
Yeah.
You know, it's a business. They don't come back and see you. You're back on the street corner telling jokes like a homeless man. You know?
Oh my God.
Let me tell you something. You're like, get out of here, homeless man. Right?
Shit, man.
It's just the truth.
You're right about that.
Let's go through the process of landing 24.
Yes.
You go, do you hear about it? Your manager tells you about it. Do you think, this will just be here for a minute? What do you think from the...
I definitely thought I was going to be fired. But that was one of the most gratifying, validating experiences in that my agent was telling me to go out for it because I had already had like a little bit of a body of work. And she's like, they really want to see you. And I didn't want to go because I didn't really do dramas and all that. So I watched the show. I didn't even watch the show. So I watched it the night before. She's like, I think you should really go in on this. This is a big show. I was like, okay.
Right.
And I get there.
And who's asking for you? Kiefer or
the creator of the show, this guy named Joel Surnow. He had seen me in this movie called Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler. Right. And I played it like a bitchy, overbearing sister. And he meets me in the hallway and he's like, you're great. You were great in that movie. I want to write a part for you. Yeah. So already that's like a dream come true. Like it could have been like over there. And in fact, I didn't believe him when he said, I was like, great, this will probably never happen, but how cool is that? Like someone saw me and liked me in that thing. Awesome. So then, there's no part written. It's like, yes, Jack, no, Jack. And he's like, I know there's nothing here, but it was just like computer tech number, whatever, for that year that they had that part to fill. And then, I signed on for like 4 episodes, 6 episodes like that. And I kept thinking I was going to get fired. And then it just slowly grew from there.
Man, it's got to be great, right? All of a sudden,
it's amazing.
You're just rolling for a while and you go, wait a minute, because now,
it really was just like, okay, cool. Like, you don't know, you don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
I'm not contracted for anything. I mean, the whole way through. Actually, now it's like this last round, they signed me for all episodes, but even now it's like, I don't take that for granted. Like, people see me as part of that show.
Yeah.
You've seen it. Like, people are like, when's it coming back? It's like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. They
you don't
hire
even
me.
know each year that you're going to be on again.
No, I mean, believe me, they get everything else possible in place before they even bother to like pick up and give little old me a call.
But the show's it's a hit, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
I know it's huge. Well, wouldn't it just be an automatic that it's going to be redone next year again?
You would think, but I mean, all those like parties have to get together in order to like produce it and write it and have it. They got to come together, agree on an idea, agree to get it done and make it, and that doesn't always happen. Right? It's weird,
Yeah.
I'm sure the network's like, let's get it going. This last installment is the 9th. So it was on for 8 years, and I started in 3. So I did 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 5 years.
5. Yeah, man, you got some fans.
Yeah.
I love it because today you're in the Starbucks in San Fran.
Yeah.
And somebody said, what's funny is like, I used to DJ at like parties, and I'd be just looking at somebody and I have no idea who they are, and I watch the fucking show.
I know, I'm the same way.
So somebody said to you, you look like Chloe from 24,
yeah,
right?
Totally.
And then the other girl was like, no, you look like my friend's German
Oh, my
friend.
God. The next, I was in a cookie shop.
Okay.
They got me, okay? It was like artisanal, what's that word? Artisan cookies.
Yeah.
So I was like actually talking on the phone like a douche in their store, but I'm walking around and it's just got like cookies laid out like they're precious jewels, all different varieties. I'm looking at the peanut butter one. I'm like, damn, that looks good. The caramel, the 7-layer caramel. It was just like all homemade. And so I'm talking, I hang up. I'm like, well, I got to buy one of these cookies now. I'm trying to leave and not cave into it, but I couldn't because I was just browsing, and it's one girl. She's bored. So, and then she's like, you are like, you just are the spitting image of this girl who was on 24 for years. And I just let it slide because I was like walking around like some, just spaced out. Like she would have never thought that would be the same person, I'm like, which cookie should I get? And so the next place I get the cookie, I go in for the coffee next door, Pete's Coffee. Girl, oh my gosh. Oh, well, you didn't get this yesterday, or you're in here at a different time today. I go, I wasn't in here yesterday. This is my first time in here. Oh, really? Well, do you go to such and such? I said, no, I don't. I'm only here for 2 days. I don't live here. Oh, well, you look so familiar. So I'm waiting for it to come. What? You were just, I know what it is. You look like my friend's roommate, this German girl.
Well, you know what?
So once again,
she's digging in her mind like it's got to be that. You know what I mean? Because you're in San Fran. No way is it Chloe from 24.
And again, I chalk that up to like total San Fran. Like, I don't own a TV.
Yeah.
Like I'm an individual. I'm a liberal individual. I don't own a TV. So you must be the German roommate of my friend.
Yeah.
It couldn't be.
Couldn't be TV that I secretly watch fucking nonstop because it's cold as fuck out and I got no dude. Because this is apparently, I read in the New York Times, the biggest singles available dude world here.
Wait, what? More single dudes or more single girls?
No, more. I forget. More single girl or dudes. I forget. One of the two. Somebody's moving here so they can try. You know what I mean? But it's funny being here because the women here, if you'd notice, since it's cold, they dress. They'll wear like Patagonia.
Oh, girl, I was just thinking that today, and it warmed my heart because it reminded me of 1994, where it's like, you're just wearing your Patagonia, your cap over the ears, and you've got it zipped up underneath your chin. Like, you'd never see that in LA in a million years. Just all kinds of weird parkas, like
it's all
square shaped.
It's all like Russian
double
River equipment.
Yeah,
we're in Guerneville. You know,
and that's just normal.
It's like zero sexy.
Yeah,
and once in a while, the sun will come out like today. And if you go down to the marina, you'll be like, holy fuck, look at all these women. But it's the first time they're out of the house and and their clothes are off. The furry fucking hider shit, you know? It's
because it's always a damp breeze around here.
Yeah.
It's always breezy.
And women hate being cold already, right? They're like, I'm cold.
Yeah.
So then it's extra cold. So they're wearing like 9 layers, you know? And
I totally forgot because it's August and I thought, well, it's hot everywhere. It's August. Like, I completely freaking forgot. It is not hot here at all. And everyone's still in their jackets.
Yeah, it's funny because I rode up here on my motorcycle, and it was like, 95 the whole way. And I remember the night before I left, Jim Norton had tweeted, the guy that said the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco, famous poet or writer or whatever, forget who it was. But he's like, he was fucking right. So he was here last week. So then it hit my mind, oh, yeah, it's going to be cold up there this week.
Must have felt good to you after that ride, though.
Yeah, it starts to cool off. You're like, oh, God. It's so weird, though, climate change of this state every 100 miles.
It's awesome.
You know?
Love California.
Yeah, me too. I'll never leave, right? Yeah, you think you'll ever leave?
No,
not at all. I'm especially from being from Detroit, right? Or Michigan. It's got to be brutal there.
I mean, maybe I'll move out of LA someday, but I don't think I'll ever leave California.
Where do you think you'd go?
Oh God, I don't even know.
I know, right?
Santa Barbara? No.
Ooh, God, no. No,
I don't even know where I'd go. Maybe I'll just be in LA.
Yeah, I'd move to Todos Santos.
Where's that?
That's at the bottom of the Baja, backside of Cabo.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I like it there.
You got that covered.
Huh?
You got that figured out.
Well,
I'd move to like another beach, like Long Beach or Laguna or something.
Long Beach. My friend lives in Long Beach. Killer fucking area.
Right?
Yeah, over by the Long Beach Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Up the street there, there's this incredible old Craftsman's. They're like huge Craftsman mansions, the big ones, and they're all fucking perfect and cool.
Yeah.
I like that shit.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know. It's weird, right? I'll never leave California, I don't think, though.
Yeah.
There's no way. You know?
Go up north or something? Ojai or something? I don't know.
Ojai's good.
Right?
I like it there. You got to be married and out.
Yeah.
Like you could move. If you were like on the show for sure. And you go, yeah, I live in Ojai, and then I just drive in and do the show. Yeah. Where do you guys shoot the show? Oh, well, last year, obviously, it was London.
We used to shoot in Chatsworth.
But
yeah, I'm not counting on that. I'm still on the make. I'm on the hustle.
Yeah.
On the hustle.
So where's the tour going? You're going to Seattle, right? But after
Seattle,
let's get the dates out so people can come see you.
Oh geez, I don't even know.
All right,
go to MaryLynnStandup.com. I got some Chicago coming up. I got one night in Detroit. I got one night in Charlotte.
Phoenix, stand up live.
Yep. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
One night in Nashville. I'm going to Edmonton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all over the joint.
You are.
Yeah.
And then you going to keep going on the tour?
I'm going through November. I'm going to try to cut it off after that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So we got, what's your website?
MaryLynnStandup.com.
And you got a Twitter.
Got a Twitter, @Rajskub.
You got to be like the nicest celebrity I've ever met.
Really?
Well, pretty much.
What do you mean, on Twitter or something?
No, just in general.
Oh.
Pretty fucking nice, you know?
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I like that. Like, you know, because you're not sure. You know?
No.
Somebody'd be like, oh, get this people away from me.
Yeah, no.
But you're like, yeah.
You gotta be.
Yeah, you do, right? You gotta stay human.
Yeah.
You don't stay human, then you're that guy everybody talks about behind, you know, the makeup room. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Here comes Mary Lynn. Oh, God. You know what she said yesterday? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
people don't understand, man. When you're in that makeup chair or you're on the set or people talk some shit. You know,
it all
so you gotta
comes
be
out
cool,
in the makeup
man.
chair.
Right?
That's where it all comes out.
It does. Right? Those people love to talk. It's crazy. I love it. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. Let's keep it rocking.
Go see her do stuff. Oh, wait. Couple questions. Oh, I almost forgot. That'd be dumb.
You made him wait until the very end. Would you get Twitter questions?
Yeah, well, that's good anyway. Very end. Here we are. Let me fire him up real quick. My boy Rockabilly J wanted to know, what was your favorite episode of Mr. Show that you did?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always like the one where I throw the baby on the floor, or I...
What?
I threw a spit in a baby's face and threw a baby on the floor. And, you know, there's Rap the Musical, which was enjoyable. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Everybody has asked to marry you, which is hilarious.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my
Rockabilly
God.
J wanted to marry you.
Oh.
Then somebody else asked if they could marry you at a Walgreens.
All right. Let's do it. I'll get married again.
Yeah, you're already married.
I know.
Isn't that hilarious?
I love it.
Let me get another question for
Makes
you
me
here.
feel sexy.
This is how pro my show is, you know. I get the
You
question.
got a lot of people working for you.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
Let's see here. This guy says this is an inside joke. Wants to know what your opinion is on the situation with the Buffalo Bills.
oh, I don't even. That's a little too inside for me, even.
Yeah,
Was that an inside joke that I forgot I was in on? Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I missed it.
Right?
I'm going to get yelled at on Twitter for not knowing that.
No, you're not. Who's going to yell at you?
Be like, how did you not understand the Buffalo Bills thing?
Yeah, I don't get it either. Right?
Mm-mm.
Here we go. One more. These people, like, here we go. Here's another one. Mary Lynn, will you follow me on Twitter, and will you marry me in a semi-small wedding at Walmart? That's Tommy Boy.
I will marry you, but I won't follow you on Twitter. How about that?
Ooh.
Dang.
All right, there you go. Well, thanks for doing the show. Did you have fun?
Thanks for having me. Love talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, Max Elephant. He says he loves the show. Wanted me to tell you.
Thanks, buddy.
And Rockabilly J still wants to marry you.
All right, let's get married.
Yeah, how's married life?
I'm responding like it's live. I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah,
dude.
right.
Thanks, dude. What else?
How long you been married?
My son is 6. We got married when he was a year, so that means I'm married 5 years. I forget my anniversary every year.
Oh, when is it?
September 1st? No. August 1st.
Oh, wait, it just passed.
Yeah. I
Oh.
forget it every year.
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't I be like the best woman to have? I just forget.
That's great.
The guy, he's reminding
No pressure.
me.
You're like, she won't even remember.
Yeah, my husband's like, let me be the first to tell you happy anniversary. I'm like, oh shit, I totally forgot, dude.
Is that a true story? You guys, wait, you slept with him the first time and then you got pregnant?
Well, 3 months into sleeping with him, yeah. So
Yeah.
however many times you can have sex with somebody in 3 months. And then I was pregnant.
I love that. I don't want to give away the bit because it's funny. You know?
Oh, yeah, I
when
don't
you
know.
Tell it on stage.
Yeah.
All right,
It's true. It's just true, man.
we're out of here.
We're outta here.
You taking a nap?
You know I am. You see me going in that
You're
direction.
like napping now.
I know. I'm about to fall asleep right now.
All right, there you guys go. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you later.
Woo.
Yeah.